President Trump made those comments about not needing trade deals during a meeting with Canada's new prime minister. Mark Carney arrived at the White House yesterday, where he and the president discussed tariffs as well as Trump's push to annex Canada.
Mr. President, you have said that Canada should become the 51st state.
Yeah. No. Well, I still believe that, but you know, it takes two to tango, right? But no, I do. I mean, I believe it would be a massive tax cut for the Canadian citizens. You get free military, you get tremendous medical cares and other things. There would be a lot of advantages.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, you know, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. And we have done that in the past.
They have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, you know, they were low and now they're stepping it up. And that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
Is there anything he could say to you in the course of your meetings with him today that would get you to lift tariffs on Canada?
No.
Why not?
Just the way it is. See, the conflict is, and this is very friendly. We're not. This is not going to be like we had another little blow up with somebody else. That was a much different. This is a very friendly conversation. But we want to make our own cars. We don't really want cars from Canada, and we put tariffs on cars from Canada. And at a certain point, it won't make economic sense for Canada to build those cars.
So, J. Mart, I think this meeting that happened at the White House absolutely fascinating. There was, you know what, nothing triggering about it because Mark Carney, Trump's equal, some would argue even more so, knows how to handle situations like this, being in the finance industry,
Sure.
being extremely well-versed in leadership.
Right.
A leader doesn't get triggered. A leader doesn't get meltdown at a comment he doesn't like. There were many comments there that Donald Trump was making that Mark Carney 100% wholeheartedly disagrees with and knows will never happen. He did not embarrass the president. At the same time, he very calmly and affably said no.
He brought a well-conceived, pre-cooked, but well-delivered line with him, Mika, which is, as you know from real estate, Mr. President, playing on the president's history, and said some places are never for sale, including this building we're in right now, which, by the way, Trump rarely laughs, and he even chuckled at that, which tells you it was a pretty good line. So, look, I thought Carney did what he had to do. He was firm in saying Canada is not for sale. He invoked the voters of his country who just elected him as the de facto board of directors, saying his country is not for sale. But, Mika, this is classic Trump. You guys know this. In person, when Trump is face-to-face with somebody, he wants to win them over. He's not going to have a confrontation with Carney in the Oval Office. He wants Carney to be his friend. And that's why it was so affable, because Trump is never going to get into a tit-for-tat with somebody. Almost never. I think there's different case with Zelensky, but Trump in person is constantly, it could be Gavin Newsom, Vladimir Putin, or Mark Carney. He wants to win that person over, and that's the Trump that you saw yesterday with Mark Carney in the Oval Office. And Carney, to his credit, didn't give Trump a reason not to try to, persuade him.
I personally, Willie, I guess you can take it to Meacham, but I think there's a lot of lessons there for Republicans. Things don't have to be so obsequious. When there's a no, you got to say it.
Yeah, and John Meacham, we've seen that periodically. I was thinking about Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia announcing he's not getting in that Senate race. His conservative credentials remain intact, but during that 2020 election, he and the Secretary of State there did stand up in that moment against Donald Trump as he tried to flip that election. So it can be done. But I'm just curious, historically, just watching these meetings are so fascinating always in the Oval Office. The two men in those two chairs with the fireplace behind them. Even President Trump invoked that meeting with President Zelensky a few months ago. What did you make of this new relationship that we're seeing and the pushback, honestly, in that way that Mika described with a light touch from the Prime Minister of Canada?
Well, the Oval Office is probably one of the worst places on the planet to have an honest conversation. It's you're in that room. I've been privileged to be there. I know most of us have had that great opportunity. And if you're a dork, which I am, I know that'd be surprising to Mika. You walk in there and you're smelling FDR secondhand smoke, and you can feel President Reagan nodding his head. It's just great. It's a room that is more of a stage than a negotiating space, and I think that there's a kind of unreality that takes over. Do it in the Oval Office, but first, take the Oval Office itself and the immense history and the sense that you want to be deferential. Add the TV cameras, and we're way past where the buses run, as my grandmother used to say. And so it's a very complicated space. It's why the Zelensky conversation, which is a big to be sure, J. Mart, in terms of moments within that office, looms so large. Because when you're in that room, you want, as you all were just saying, you want this to be congenial, historical, dignified. When it isn't, is remarkable, which is why the president's essential contempt, I use that word advisedly, but the apparent contempt he has for Ukraine, was so vivid. And so I think that what we're watching here is an unconventional American president, to say the least, deploying the symbols of the office in this highly personalized, highly dramatic way. Remember early on in the first term, President Trump was quoted as saying he wanted every day of his presidency to be like the episode in a reality show where he vanquished his foes. And that's the world we're living in.
Yeah. Two things. I would say the Zelensky meeting, President Trump brought others in, and it was more like a gang up. And the dynamics were very different, obviously. And then in terms of the smell of the Oval Office and the sense of history, have you been in the Oval Office lately? It's been redecorated just a tiny bit. Just saying. It might not have that same feeling. Could be, but...
It will surprise you that I have not been there recently. No, I know what you mean. But it's still it's still a remarkable space.
I'm joking. It's beautiful. Okay, so the editors of the National Review have a new piece, J. Mart, entitled Trump's Anti-Abundance Agenda. And it reads in part this: bizarrely, the man who for decades has been a symbol of unapologetic American success is now defending his tariff policies. Is now defending his tariff policies by making a case against abundance. It's hard to think of a greater gift to Democrats during a chaotic and expensive Christmas shopping season than footage of Trump, who never faced the prospect of either a child or a parent of having to make do with less, yammering about American children being so spoiled. It would be one thing if there were reason to believe that the short-term sacrifices Trump is asking of the American public were accompanied by a plausible path toward a payoff somewhere in the future, near future. But unless Trump backs off or his unilateral assumption of tariff power is blocked by Congress or the courts, Americans will suffer real pain. Dismissing the legitimate economic concerns of American consumers has never been a winning political strategy. And Jonathan Martin, that is, I mean, every conversation we've ever had and every election we have covered has come back to yeah, this is going on and that's going on, but it's about Americans' day-to-day concerns, kitchen table issues. How much does the car insurance cost? How much does gas cost? How much do their groceries cost? It comes down to their life.
And Trump just ran a campaign which was not based upon, austerity, Mika. I mean, Trump never said during the campaign, the good times are going to roll after a few years of sacrifice and less gifts for your kids for Christmas and some real pain. No, the pledge of the campaign was like, we're going to rock and roll. America's golden age is here. So there's a bit of a rug pull, if you will. Yeah, so what happened to that? So I think that aside, look, I think take your medicine is just never a good message for the American voter. They don't want to hear it. And I think the idea that American voters are going to be willing to pay more for goods, boy, if you believe that, I got news for you. We just had an administration that got rejected, I think in large part because of inflation. So I'm skeptical that voters are willing to accept that. And just real fast to come back to the first clip you played of Trump yesterday in the Oval saying that people want to be in our market. We don't want to be selling goods in their markets. That is such a profound misread of the economy of this country. Trump should go to flyover country, talk to farmers in ag states. Where does he think we send our goods that we grow here in this country? It's not all for the American consumer. So this is a real challenge we're going to face. And I think the markets are mostly looking for good news, and Besson's going to China, and the markets are responding to that. But this is the great question. Who is actually going to set policy for the administration? Donald Trump and his off-the-cuff rhetoric, or the folks like Scott Besson who are actually doing policy negotiations with the Chinese? It's unclear to me.
Democrats are going to be asking golden age for who? Not for you. I mean, this is only a golden age, I guess, for people who are billionaires and Trump and his family. Politics Bureau Chief and Senior Political Columnist for Politico, Jonathan Martin, thank you so much for being on this morning.